We'll double check everything here. We'll measure everything, make sure it's centered. Move that out of the way. Move this out of the way. Move this over. Okay. Alright, I'm sitting here and look. This is sitting in the seat. And this is going to come forward just a hair, not much. So we can stand up. Alright. Alright, I'm going to get the tape measure and some paper towels. It's still leaking hydraulic fluid. And we're going to measure everything, make sure it's centered, and then we're going to put those screws in. Okay, everything's measured, centered. I got the holes drilled. All we gotta do is put these screws in. They're just tapping screws go. I got the hole drilled a little smaller than this screw, so they're gonna bite into that plywood. This is all the hydraulic fluid I have right now, which is fine. We're gonna flush the whole system. I got a whole quart on order. Here it's soaking up the hydraulics, soaking up that fluid. Just top it off until it doesn't suck up any more fluid anymore, just to make sure it still works and doesn't leak or steer the wrong way or anything. Okay, I'm not going to film this part because I need to make sure I put everything back together the right way with this throttle control and then bolt it back up here. So I'll catch y'all here in just a minute. Well, it's getting pretty late at night. Next up, we still got to put in the fuse box and the switches, and set up the 24-volt system with 2 batteries. I just bought another battery tonight for the trolling motor. Get the trolling motor. We're not gonna hook it up yet because we're gonna build the platform. It's gonna mount to that, so we'll get there when we get there. Tomorrow I got to work most of the day, but I will have the hardware coming in to bolt together all this T-slot framing so we can start working on the deck here, probably not tomorrow, but the day after. Well, good news is my T-nuts came in for the T-slot frame, so we can start building the shooting deck. Bad news is those 2 gobblers that have been hanging out with me while I'm working on the boat, one of them got eaten by coyotes last night. Found them on the way to work this morning when I was leaving. So I guess we're on coyote patrol again. I got all the framing and stuff and brought it inside. Shop is a mess right now, but we're going to start working on the frame. We got rain coming in, so I brought everything in. Everything's labeled on the measurements, but I got to get out my little diagram that I made and make sure I put everything together. There's the bolts, there's the nuts. Dang, they're individually wrapped. That's gonna be fun. These are all the corner brackets. Here's my little cheat sheet. It's got all the measurements so I know which piece goes where. This stuff's a lot stronger and thicker than I expected. But I'm gonna start putting together the main pieces here. Alright, so what I'm doing is bolting these down. The nuts slide in that groove there. So here's one that hasn't been bolted down. You got to slide all these in before you put it together, so I have to go carefully and make sure I'm getting all the nuts slid into the grooves. We're not tightening the bolts too tight. I'm using this. Once we get all the frame, we got to make sure everything fits right. Once all the frame is put together, then I can tighten them down all the way, but I'm probably going to back them all out one at a time and put a little Loctite on. But the way this is designed, see, it's flexed inwards a little bit. So when you tighten this down, it kind of acts like a locking washer. It should hold it in place. Shouldn't have to have any Loctite, but we're probably going to put some on just to be safe. Alright, we're going to pick this up tomorrow. It's getting late. This takes quite a bit of time to stitch everything up, but it's a little on the heavy side, but it's going to be sturdy when it's done. Alright, working on the railing. We got two sides that are going to be mirrored each other. There'll be 3 lights on the side and 2 on each corner, or 1 on each corner and then 2 in the front. Almost don't have clearance here. See how that kind of overlaps a little bit on the bracket. Forgot to include those brackets in the math, but I think it'll work just fine. These this mounting bracket for the light is pretty flexible. It's not the highest of quality. It's Amazon lights, but they work and they are bright. Alright, so we got these cinched down. And notice this doesn't fit, but this whole thing, we can move this up. That's not permanent yet. But right now, that's got it at a little bit of a downward angle. The rail is upside down right now. I may leave them like that. We'll figure that out here in a little bit. Right now, we're just trying to hook them all up. Yeah. Just a quick reminder, I do have links to all this stuff on Amazon. These lights included. Anything that I bought from Amazon, there's a link down in the description to this video. So these are the 200 watt. They make 50 watt, 100 watt, 200 watt. So you can get whatever size, but I've got links to the 200 watt. They're pretty big and they're pretty dang bright. It's kind of sloppy, but I've got everything soldered, and I had to use liquid electrical tape because of the way I spliced it. I'm no electrician, but it should be waterproof now, and then we're going to go ahead, once this liquid tape dries, we're going to wrap each bundle in regular electric tape. It's all spliced into this extension cord. Everything is rated for the amount of amps we're going to be pulling. Alright, let's take a look at the platform here. We're going to have a support leg probably somewhere right around under here. It's not going to be very long. It's going to go down to the deck. Probably just only be about like that. Probably right about there we'll have that support in the middle. The original plan was to have this come out all the way to the tip of the bow, but it's still wide enough to scoot it back just to about 3 inches so we can have a bracket here that will bolt through the hole to hold it in place on the front. Because we're going to have to add brackets to mount this to the boat. Alright, so remember I didn't tighten this down all the way. See, we still got some adjusting to do here. There's a gap there. So we're going to back these bolts out one at a time, add a drop of thread locker, and then tighten everything down for good. So